In 10th grade, I had this extremely challenging class that I liked a lot, but it was the first time I ever had gotten bad grades in my entire life. I was always an A/B student. Now, I enjoyed this class, I enjoyed learning about it, but more than anything, I enjoyed going there because I saw this one specific person. This person was a girl that I used to talk to that was grades older than me, like way older than me, because I was in like the second year of high school and she was about to graduate, and we talked a lot. So in this class, I started out getting bad grades, which was a very rare occurrence to me. I grew up getting straight A's and B's. My grades were amazing, so you would expect me not to like this class. But this one girl that was in there, it was this blonde girl. She was the only reason that I actually cared for the class, and honestly kind of gave me motivation to try. Now, leading all the way back through all of my classes ever before, I had never gotten a C on a test. And this class was the first time that I had ever done that, and I felt completely distraught. Now, little did I know, although this girl was about to graduate and she was in my class, you might think that, oh, this girl was probably kind of dumb or something if she's in a 10th grade class. In reality, I was actually just doing a class ahead, and she was doing a class late that she had missed earlier in her high school years or something like that. So I guess she was coming back just to finish that up, but she had pretty good grades, and I'm pretty sure she was very smart. That's something that I liked about her a lot. And she actually was struggling just like me. So contrary to everything that I just said, she had struggled in the one thing that I did too, so I related to this girl on that. Now, I never even talked to this girl for the most part of the beginning of this school year. She was sort of a figure that I guess I would just like had a crush on or something, I don't know, but she was in my class and there was no other girls that I actually thought were attractive. Not in that class specifically. Now keep in mind, like I said, this girl's about to graduate, but every single dude in her grade had like a massive crush on her. She was probably one of the most liked girls in the school by far, like by a literal like long shot. Like, it was crazy how much dudes liked her. And when I saw her, I don't know if it was a confidence issue or whatever, but I thought I had zero chance. Like, literally when I looked at her, I had no idea that I ever would talk to her like in any sort of flirtatious way, which would end up changing later on. But right now, I'm just struggling in this class with her, and for the first time, I actually said something about it. I was like taking some sort of like assignment. It wasn't like a test or a quiz because I wasn't going to cheat or anything, but I had this assignment and she sat next to me for part of it. They had these sort of like assigned seats, and I believe it was based on your last name. So we had a name that was close. So we sat next to each other, and I remember specifically asking her a question. I was like, hey, do you know the answer to this? So I was doing this assignment, asked her the question, and I don't know what got into me because I was never the type, and I talk about this a lot, but I was never the type to approach a girl ever in my life. But for some reason, something just sparked in me, and I guess it's because it was a lot more friendly. Like, once again, this girl was so attractive. I didn't even think of her. Like, do you guys ever see those girls that are like so attractive you don't even think of them in that way at all? Like, that's literally how I saw her. I was like, there's zero chance. Because she was already getting attention from like the people who were the most popular in her grade. So like, why would she go grades down? Also, maybe that might seem kind of weird. Now for me, I don't think it was that weird because she was like probably a year and a half above me. But on paper, I was probably like 16 and she was probably 18 or something like that. I don't know. I don't even think that's that bad for me in my case because I was a younger one. But looking on an outside perspective, that's probably not good. So yeah, I ended up asking her something about this specific paper we were doing, and she was like, I don't know either. I'm not sure exactly what we should do. And then over this, we ended up talking, and for the entire class, we had a seamless conversation. Everything was completely great. We were just honestly helping each other, and even though we both struggled in the class, it was perfect in the way that we knew what each other didn't know, if that makes sense. So if I knew the answer to one question, she would know the answer to the other one. And we were kind of just helping each other so much that it actually helped our grades a lot to work together. This was not about personal interest or anything. Like, obviously we were friendly and we enjoyed talking and stuff, but more than anything, we just wanted to get our grades up. So that's what we started doing. So this class had become extremely bipolar for me because it was one of those things where if I didn't study, I was cooked. Like, and I've never had to study my entire life, and I still got A's and B's throughout all of high school, middle school, everything, A's and B's without studying. This is that one class where if I did not, I was completely screwed. So every morning before, I would stress like heavily if I didn't study or anything, but I'd also be excited because the girl was sitting there, or she would be in the class, and I guess I looked forward to it because of that. And I don't know why. I feel like a lot of people probably relate to this, but for some reason, because she was there, I was willing to put up with all the BS that this class had. Now, the teacher was great. That wasn't the issue. It was just genuinely a really hard class. But over time, when we started helping each other, we almost like grew from each other more than anything else. And pretty much every assignment we had, whenever we partnered up, I would partner up with her. And it was almost like funny because other people in the class, like the other guys, would look at me and sort of laugh like it was joking, like she was doing it out of pity or something. And maybe she was. I don't know. I don't think so. But looking back, I feel like it definitely until eventually we actually decided that we want to do something more than just work on assignments together, because that was great and all, but I feel like we had more to do. So she actually asked me. Now, this was not me. I, once again, never even intended on making any moves. She was like crazy, you know what I mean? And she actually asked me, she was like, hey, do you want to start going in early to class? I'll pick you up. I couldn't even drive at this point. I got my license really late, and that was my mistake. But I literally couldn't even drive. So she ended up coming to my house every single morning of that class, and she would pick me up, take me to school, and then we would study together in that room with the teacher. Now, this was crazy to me. Like, just imagine the girl that is extremely attractive to everybody. Like, she was one of the girls in the school that everybody thought was attractive. It wasn't just something in one grade or one class or anything. It wasn't like a sort of niche crush, if you want to call it that. It was something like this girl was objectively like insanely attractive. So for her to be the one to ask me to do that, it was like, what? And that's why I kind of thought of it as like, there's no way this girl's showing out for other people, because she's asking me to do this and nobody's going to be at the school that early. Like, nobody knew we were doing this, and it's not like I was going to tell anyone, because like, why would I? I mean, I guess my brother knew, but like, there was literally nobody knew. So that sort of took the thought out of my head of like, maybe she's doing it to joke around or be pity. But like, yeah, so we started going, and she would drive me to school every single morning. And this was something I look forward to even more. And at this point, it was like a flex, bro. Like, to my guy friends, I eventually, after doing this for a while, ended up telling them, and they would literally like joke with me about it because of how like crazy it was. Like, they would make jokes that I'm like dating this girl, whatever. Obviously I wasn't, but like, it was that like level crazy. And maybe I sound like I'm glazing way too hard or something. I don't know, but definitely looking back, I don't think I was. So now this is where the biggest issue arose. She would pick me up, and when we're driving to school, for some reason, when there was no topic about an assignment or something we had to work on, I froze. Because once again, this is not clicking in my head. It's not making any sense. It's like literally making me laugh right now, because it was like so just like, it just did not add up to me. I'm like, no, there's no way one of the most attractive girls in the school is doing this. Like, did she want to get better grades? And this is something that I still don't know the answer to this day. Like, was she doing it because she wanted to hang out with me? She wanted to get better grades. She wanted to actually study. Like, I don't know. And the main reason I don't know is because she could have easily just gone there and done it by herself, or found someone her age to do it with. Like, why did she do that with me out of everyone? Like, I still, like, I'm trying to figure that out to this day. I hadn't even blown up on TikTok yet by this point. So like, I just didn't see any reason. And the thing about it is that she had to go out of her way to pick me up. Like, when she drove, she lived across. Let's say the school's in the middle. She lives here. She would drive past the school, pick me up, and then go back. So she was going out of her way for this. And I have a feeling that all those guys in my class assumed that she was doing it like literally to joke with me. But I really don't think that's what this was. But let me resume. I'll paint this picture very precisely for you. She'd pick me up. We'd be sitting in the car, and then it would go completely silent. Because I was that nervous, I had no idea what to say. I didn't know how to speak to people, let alone one of the most attractive girls in my school. I had no idea what to do. So when we were sitting there, I would just try to think of things, and there was nothing more awkward. When I tell you awkward, I'm talking fake laughs, dead silence, like bottom of the barrel, like worst case scenario. Like, have you ever made a joke and then somebody goes completely silent? It was like that level. And honestly, I give the props to her. She could carry a conversation when I was dry. But like, I don't know. I wasn't even dry. I was just shy, to be completely honest. And my ability to talk, when I tell you, it went out the window. I'm saying I couldn't even formulate a sentence at this point because I was so like confused. But over time, of course, my tolerance and like my talking skills built up, and eventually I was able to talk. But we're not there yet. I'm at the point now where it is like deafening, like silence. And I would get her to play music. And this is another thing. I don't know about you guys, but I sometimes would get embarrassed with the music that I listen to, because I listen to stuff like Juice WRLD and like I don't know, just stuff that guys really like. I was like, there's no way a girl would listen to this. But that's something we also related on because somehow she liked my music. Now, maybe she was lying to be nice. That's something I feel like she might have actually done. I could very easily see that because this girl was just like pretty much like checked off every box. She was really nice to literally everyone. Like she wasn't mean to anyone. You know, there's those girls who are popular and think that they're above everyone. She was the opposite of that, even though she was extremely popular. And I remember she actually liked the music that I listened to. So for some reason, this gave me some level of confidence. And looking back, the reason that I think I couldn't talk is because I had no confidence. It wasn't because I didn't have things to say or I wasn't entertained or I was dry or I was shy or anything like that. I genuinely just was not content with myself. So this actually inspired me to start going to the gym, and it's such a corny story to talk about like, oh, now because of a girl, like I started going to the gym. Like it's so dumb looking back. Like I should have done it for myself, right? But I decided I was going to start working out. Oh, it's so bad even thinking about this. I decided I was going to start working out because of this girl. Like, dude, my face is getting red just like looking back. But like, it's so dumb. So I started working out every single day after school because of this girl at this point. And I've had so many stories like this. Like every time a traumatic experience or something good or bad happens, I just end up in the gym. Maybe it's like a men's natural instinct. I don't know. But I started going. And for some reason, even though there weren't massive physical differences, in my head, this actually tricked my brain to be more confident. And I'm telling you right now, I did not know what I was doing when I was working out. Like I was not looking that much better. I probably like looked exactly the same before and after because I was that ineffective at working out. But somehow, some way, this gave me the confidence. And after I started doing this, when I got in the car for the first time ever, I actually was able to keep a conversation. And it was literally from something that did not change. I was confident in my physical appearance, right? But my physical appearance didn't change. So what was the real confidence? The real confidence was in my head. And what I realized is that not even about how you look that really matters when it comes to talking to people, although it does play a role. It's literally more about how you think you look. Like it is all a mental game. The ability to speak to people is all in your head. So we're starting to go. And now every day when she's taking me to school, and I'm still baffled, by the way, because this wasn't like a one-off thing. This was like the rest of the year. She drove me to school every single day that we had. So we had A and B days where we'd go one day to this set of classes and the next day for another set of classes. She was doing this literally every day at this point, or every other day for the rest of the year. So we're actually getting way better at that class. We're getting like straight A's now, and we're doing good. And now it gets to a point where there's not really any need for tutoring or anything like that. Like we're doing good enough to just, like do this stuff on our own. But yet she still kept taking me. And this is where that little thought in the back of my head was, she might have actually liked me for me. Like she actually liked my personality and she liked this. Now, I don't know for sure, but looking back, just thinking about it, I would say I'm like 90% sure she like genuinely like cared for me, and like maybe even she had a crush on me. I don't know. Now this is where everything went downhill, and I cannot believe this happened. So we're doing this and I'm actually getting good at holding conversations. Everything is going well. And I actually thought in the back of my head, like maybe I might make a move. Like just cause like why not? You only live once, right? And I don't know about you guys, but the method, you wait until the very end of the year. So if they say no, it doesn't really matter, right? That's like the way that I thought when I was that young. So now I'm sitting there and we're doing this and I'm getting better. I'm getting confident. I'm saying things that are making sense. Like I was making her laugh all the time, all this stuff, right? And then the worst case scenario arises. So before the start of this year, it was actually the year of the virus. And I can't believe this happened. Like it's genuinely shocking to me. But at the very end of my 10th grade year, I actually got sick and I didn't end up getting tested for the virus that I'm not going to say because I don't know if it's allowed on this platform right now. But you know the virus, right? Everybody knows it. The quarantine virus, right? So I'm sick. And I couldn't get tested for some reason. Like there was nowhere I could go to get tested. So they basically kicked me out of school for the end of this entire year. So I get to do all my exams online, which not gonna lie, was pretty cool. But I lost my chance. Like with this girl, I had no chance anymore to talk to her. And I kind of regret it to this day because I think it would have been really cool regardless if I got rejected or not, whatever happened. But then I was just left at the stalemate, not knowing if I had my chance with one of the most attractive girls in the school that I think actually liked me. I sold the bag.